What if one small change in the way you speak to a child could actually improve their vocabulary, thinking, and confidence? Now, many adults ask children questions such as, do you enjoy the story? Or is the block red? Now, these questions are not necessarily wrong, but they usually produce, as we all know, only one word answers. If we want our children to think, explain, and communicate, we must ask questions that open the door to conversation. Now, welcome to our video for today. My name is Chris. I'm the founder of Edunomics Limited. We are an online-based training platform for NCT, VET, and AMCA courses. So if you're seeking to be trained and certified in practical nursing, geriatric nursing, and early childhood educations levels 2 to 4, you can always do our programs. In today's video, we're going to explore how we use open-ended questions, why they're important, and how you can use them to help improve a child's everyday activity in the classroom. So let's begin. Now, the difference between open and closed-ended question is this. A closed-ended question usually has one correct answer or can only be answered using a yes or a no or a simple word. An example of a closed-ended question is this. Is the block blue? How many dolls are there? Did you enjoy the story? Now, these questions can help the children to check their understanding of the concept, but usually it does not encourage extended conversations. Now, an open-ended question, on the other hand, allows a child to give different possible answers. It also encourages the child to think, describe, predict, explain, and share their own ideas. Now, an example of an open-ended question is, what could you build with these blocks? Why do you think the character did that? What do you think will happen next? Another example is, how could we solve this problem? Now, notice the difference between each. Instead of them searching for one-worded answers, with an open-ended question, the child must organize their thoughts and then express it as an idea. Now, open-ended questions support several areas of a child's development. The first thing that an open-ended question supports is language development. Now, children hear new words and practice forming longer sentences when you use open-ended questions. The second aspect of how open-ended questions can improve a child's understanding is through developing critical thinking. Now, children must compare information when you give them an open-ended question. They have to learn to make predictions. They have to learn to explain their reasoning. The third reason why I believe an open-ended question actually is important is that it encourages creativity. A question with several possible answers will allow the child not just to think, but to imagine and to explore. Now, with these open-ended questions, you are able to have the child think, understand, and express his or herself in the classroom. But here's a drawback to asking open-ended questions. Many persons don't give the child enough time to think and be able to support their answers. Now, imagine this. You ask a child, why do you think the ice is melting? The child becomes quiet. Many adults are very uncomfortable with that silence, and they will immediately start asking other questions or even nudging the child to answer. But the quietness is only the child thinking. So before you decide to say something, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Giving the child ample time to think and structure their thoughts before you decide to add another question to prompt. So giving the child time to think, reason, and formulate their thoughts is what allows an open-ended question to be effective. So it's not just an open-ended question, but you're going to pair it with a pause, giving the child time to think. The goal here for an open-ended question is not just to have the child speak, but to keep the conversation going. During story time, during play, during reading, during outdoor activities, having the child speak, express, design, think, using the opening questions, pausing will allow that child to develop and to be able to think creatively and build their language skills. Thank you.